Hello. Happy Crimson Tuesday. Amberzine, thanks for the resub. You've been subbed for 18 months. Amazing. Thank you so much. Mouse Miss, good to see you. Almost December already. December. I didn't know December was a thing. That's awesome. Does that mean we have to play DOS games? Because I think Personal Nightmare qualifies. Slat Studio, good to see you. I agree. Crimson Tuesday comes way too fast. Oh, it's quite a thing on YouTube. Fantastic, Maximus. Okay, December on YouTube. I like it. Wonderful. Hey, that person 122. Good to see you. Glad you were able to catch me live. I'm glad that yeah, I'm glad too. That's awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, dev update real quick. Yeah, I'm still doing my overall kind of playthrough of the whole game before I get the beta all packaged up for everybody. But what I have been doing is, I know maybe last stream or the stream before that, we were talking about people speedrunning adventure games. And kind of with that in mind, and also for when I'm testing the game, it also helps me to make sequences skippable. Even if they're not gigantic cutscenes, even if it's something as mundane as just like an animation of a character or something, or like a brief conversation. I've been adding more skippable parts in the game so that when I'm testing and I'm repeating the same sections over and over again, I can just press escape and just warp to whatever the next thing is. So I sometimes put up a message. If it's a big long cutscene, I'll put up a message that says press escape to bypass this scene or whatever I wrote. But some of the shorter stuff, it would be a bit obtrusive to do that. So sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. But usually, if it's something that's fairly takes at least a number of seconds to get through, you should be able to press escape and just get through them now. Eden Waite, good to see you. December is a thing. It's official as Julia has decreed. I just learned about it 5 minutes ago. Kakalakola, December, do you say? I have not. I've learned about this as long as you guys. Foggish Green, good to see you. Skip is hip, and speedrunners will be grateful, Mouse says. Yeah, so kind of thinking about that. So just, yeah, and they're really easy to add in Adventure Game Studio, which is even better. There is a command called start cutscene, and it goes start cutscene, and so it's baked in and everything. And then in brackets you can put in how they can skip it. And for me, I've put in skip, just pressing the escape button. You can have press any button, right click, whatever, anything you want. But because in my text parser adventure game, when you press enter to advance through text, I didn't want people to accidentally skip through something if they're advancing through text. Because that's kind of the most recognized way for people to advance through messages. So on my game, all the cutscenes are escape, press escape to skip. Oh wow, Maximus says, in Cyberpunk you don't skip cutscenes but hold a key that fast forwards time like 5 times. Do they make like VHS scan lines on the screen too? Yeah, if you don't want to watch a cranky woman eat Jordan almonds, then press escape. Nessa eating Jordan almonds is a non-blocking animation, which means you can continue gameplay. But any type of blocking animation that's long, I have been just adding more skipping to the game. So yes. in anticipation of all the speedrunners that will be speedrunning Crimson Diamond. I don't know about that, but it's also useful to me, and I think players will also appreciate it, so everyone wins. Oh, skippable cutscenes and animations are awesome. Kakalakola says, I wish it was a thing during PS1 days. It didn't have that during PS1 days? Eek. Oh good, Massimo says, so when you fast forward in Cyberpunk you get the scan lines and visual glitches? I love it. Yeah, VHS in 2076, 2077. I guess it would be hipsters using VHS cassettes. And I still have VHS cassettes here, but in 2076, 2077. Yeah, so that's the dev update. Just doing a once over, adding some skippable areas, and then the hope is, next week I'll be getting that beta out to beta testers. So that's where we are now. Yes, you can try to eat the Jordan almonds. Nancy won't eat them. She likes her teeth. I think they're stronger than everlasting gobstoppers. Indeed. Yeah, yeah, there's fax machines. Apparently that's still a thing in a lot of places, fax machines. And magnetic tape is the future, the Deluxe talks. You didn't want your teeth anyways last studio? I'm thinking maybe at events I'll have like giveaways. It would be fun to do Jordan almonds. Okay, another thing. So I've mentioned that this is, in fact, the time of the year that I talk to people about the holiday card that I offer to my patrons on Patreon. And I can just quickly go to that. Holiday cards. Yeah, so this is last year's holiday card you're seeing with some postcards and a sticker. And I kind of talk about this every holiday season because I want to encourage people, if they join the $5 US tier on Patreon, they're going to get all this bonus stuff. If you're new to the tier or new as a patron, you'll get last year's card. You'll get last year's card as a postcard. You'll get both postcards that I've made, daytime version and nighttime version of the View of the Lodge, which is in game. Which all that stuff will be signed with a nice metallic gold marker, and I will also include that little sticker that you see, the little round sticker. But yeah, I am wanting to put more time into my Patreon. And so I polled, over the past couple weeks, I've polled everyone on Patreon, the public and patron as well, what kind of benefits they'd like to see. And I know I asked you guys on stream what benefits you'd like to see, and I have the poll results here, so I'm gonna talk about that real quick. Ronald Dragster, good to see you. Highbury Hazard, wonderful to see you. Yes. DOS is still a thing in some places. Kakalakola, long live DOS. Long live DOSBox. I still have it on my computer somewhere. I haven't used it in ages because of good old games re-releasing things, but there's always a place for it, I have to say. Grindislav, hello, happy Crimson Tuesday. Grindislav, of course, being Francisco Gonzalez of Lamplight City and currently developing Rosewater. And tomorrow is indeed Wild West Wednesday. And what can we expect from you tomorrow and Wild West Wednesday, Francisco? Highbury Hazard as well as a streamer. Recently made affiliate. Good to see you guys. Oop. There's the underscore. Highbury Hazard. Oops. Okay. Shout out. And what are you streaming, Highbury Hazard? Foggage Green, that's very interesting. You had a professor that said we're in the second Stone Age because everything's silicon based. And oh, Deluxe Talk's interesting. Good idea. If you do a convention booth, I should totally do a mini geology display. Ooh, I do have rocks. I do have them. And a craft corner. Yes, EGA necklace again. So yeah, I could definitely have that on me. And a cross stitch of Nancy. I do have cross stitches of Nancy and Margot. I'm going to be working on my third one soon. I think I'm going to pick Nessa next because she's got a lot more greens and browns and stuff in her, and the first two I didn't really have those colors in them. Grindislav on Wild West Wednesday tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can expect him to complain about background that has been taken way longer than you anticipated. I know what that feels like. Anyone who's been on the art stream knows what that feels like. Oh, cool. Co-op horror games with your friends, Highbury Hazard. Nice. Okay, yeah, so this is again the bonus for patrons. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you guys about the Patreon poll about what benefits people would most like to see. Number one Patreon poll benefit people would want to see is digital wallpapers and art assets. So, which I do have some of that stuff kind of. I just need to readjust a little bit of it, but there are some wallpapers in the game that I can provide as digital wallpapers. There is the voxel Nancy file that I can also provide for people, and so that stuff is fairly easy to do because I have quite a lot of that stuff on hand. But also it'd be fun to make other little patterns and things like that. So that's the number one benefit would be digital art assets. Number two in the poll for Patreon benefits people would like to see is their name in the credits, which is definitely something I will be introducing in the fairly near future. And I think that the consensus was just not even separating anyone by tiers. Unnatural 20. Unnatural 20. I really like your name, first of all. And thanks for the cheer. I appreciate it. Awesome. Yeah, I played a bit of D&D Pathfinder in my day. It's a lot of fun. Are you just a building exterior, Grindislav, you're working on? For some reason it's been 3 days and counting. It happens, Grindislav. Are you getting tied up in like the lighting or just the overall construction of the setup or the composition? And welcome to stream Unnatural 20. Yeah, so that's number 2 is name of the credits, which yeah, I can definitely do. Number 3 is ability to vote on stuff. So EGA demakes that I sometimes do. I was working on a Cyberpunk 2077 one, speaking of. I've been working on a Hades one. I finished an Animal Crossing demake. I finished a Kentucky Route Zero demake. But that's something fun to do, and I would like to do more of that. At the moment, I'm just concentrating on intro art, but yeah, we could also vote on what I play after Personal Nightmare. If finishing Personal Nightmare does not make me never want to Let's Play anything ever again, I have a list of games on GOG that or Steam that people could vote on about what I play next. That is also an amazing emote on Natural 20, the Sierra logo. Overall construction, Grendislav. Yeah, it's funny because when I would do illustrations, getting a really solid sketch done was about 75% of the battle. And after that, like inking and coloring was almost like I felt like I was practically done, as if I had the composition and everything in the drawing all done. It was kind of like downhill from there, and downhill in a good way, because I can see how downhill from there could sound like a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean it in a good way. You made that on Natural 20, the Sierra, the logo? Nice. And number 4, which was last of the options I provided people for what they'd like to see as a Patreon benefit, was bonus videos, which is funny because I do still plan on offering that because it's really easy for me to do. In fact, I did one just before going live tonight. And what that has been, it's been about 4.5-5-minute little video clips I'll do once everything's set up here. And I've been showing some work from art school back in my college days and kind of talking about a bit about the piece and a bit about, I guess, yeah, like the stuff I was up to at that time. So this time I talked about bubble jet printers and my experience with that in art school. But if I do plan on offering that as a part of a tier benefit, but it's going to be paradoxically, it's going to be a higher tier benefit because I want to offer the most popular tier benefits at the lower tiers that people are more likely to subscribe to. And the stuff that people were like about, I'll be like, hey, this will be the more expensive tier because I want as many people as possible to be happy with their benefits. Okay, fog is green. Yes, we are metaphorically tired and bicycling downhill is good. Okay, so downhill from here is a good thing. Okay. So that's that, and yeah, just and don't worry about just becoming, if you're thinking about becoming a patron at the $5 US tier, and even in December, as we roll into December, mid-December, as long as you're a $5 tier patron, before I mail stuff out, then I will mail you a card if you send me your mailing address. And I have been working on the card, and I've been making some pretty good progress, so hopefully it'll be before Valentine's Day. Yeah, and there's the Nightbot has the link to the Patreon as well about the bonuses and all that. Next, so the rest of the night after I show the trailer, I am going to do the pixel art for the introductory sequence that we were working on the past few weeks, and then from about 10:15 or so until 10:30 or 11 or whatever, I'll be playing some Personal Nightmare, which is an EGA mystery game, a horror game, I guess. So we're nearly there. We're making really good time. It's only 8:15. So I guess at this point I should introduce myself. Welcome to stream. If you're new, if you're old, if you're lurking, if you're active in chat, it's always good to be here. I'm here every week on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Sometimes 8 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes it's just me doing art stuff and Let's Playing, which I just started recently. Or it's me and Dan Polakar, who's the musician on the Crimson Diamond, and we will do a track from start to finish, which we did last week. We did kind of an official authority, beautiful little piece, and Dan is using a Roland MT32. And it's really cool to see him start something, and also we take a lot of feedback from you guys in chat, and it's a pretty good time. So hopefully we'll do that next week, and other times it's just me. But I am Julia Minamata. I guess I should introduce myself. I am making a mystery adventure game called The Crimson Diamond. I'm going to show you the trailer in a second to show you what that looks like, but it does look, it's kind of a bit of a blast from the past gameplay-wise. It's a text parser mystery game, but I'm trying to make it pretty easy to play. In my opinion, I don't think a single person who's tested the game has said it's been easy, but they haven't said it was impossible. So somewhere between easy and impossible is what we're aiming for. More close to the easier side, hopefully. But Chapter 1 is available as a playable demo on Steam and itch.io, and I've finished Chapter 4, and I'm just about to get the beta ready for my beta testers. Then I have to work on Chapter 5, 6, and 7, so we'll see how that goes. Yes, Chad gets a backseat composer credit at the end of the game, Deluxe Talks, 100%. So let's get to the trailer. And from there, we are going to get right into some pixel art stuff. So, one moment. Crimson, Ontario was once a prosperous, lively mining town. But that was a long time ago. Now it's quiet, nearly deserted, and some folks aim to keep it that way. Nancy Maple is an aspiring mineralogist, assigned to follow the trail of a dazzling diamond. An intriguing cast of characters has converged under one roof, each meaning to get their own way. Or else. Will Nancy untangle the mysteries and machinations before it's too late? Will the sleepy town of Crimson shine once more? Find out in The Crimson Diamond, an upcoming adventure game by Julia Minamata. The Crimson Diamond demo is available on Steam and itch.io for Windows PC and Mac OS. Yes, so Slatsunu says, will this be the first adventure game I complete without a walkthrough? Probably not. And to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever completed a single adventure game without a walkthrough. And I'm trying to design this for people like me. And hopefully Photoshop decides not to crash every time I try to use the brush tool tonight. Agreed. Fingers crossed. And here's something. I just happen to have this at the desk. So there are maps of the interior and exterior of the lodge. You can actually find these in the manual that also is on the Steam store page. And actually, that one's not in. This one's not in the manual right now because that's the exterior of the lodge, and you can't play that in the demo. But the interior of the lodge, in a map that looks very similar to that, is in the manual, and it just so happened to have it here. I think that's all I have to show. So we're going to get into the art section of this whole thing. Okay. You should be seeing Photoshop now. Let me know if you're not. Masmisk says that the map looks very symmetrical, could use some chaos. Yeah, the map is very symmetrical. The lodge is very symmetrical as well. Here is the piece that we've been working on. And I think we are working with a fairly decent sense of depth right now. Dithering will help this, I think. In fact, we can do a little bit of that just now, because that's maybe one of the first things I notice on this, is that this is something I want to add. So, let us copy this cyan dither and change the color of it. And I think I'm going to put it in the background. And we'll see what color. I'm thinking the dark blue cobalt for depth in that background, but we'll see. I do like that. Okay, so we're probably going to go with that. But first things first, I'm going to just select the background green and add that back in. Already I like that, the depth that's creating. Tika, good to see you. Wonderful. And fellow Canadian. Yeah, Deluxe Deck, definitely the back. But what I'm going to try is I'm going to try to see if it's also going to work on the cobalt blue. That's pretty good. I'm pleased with that enough already. But my next thing I'm going to try for an additional level of depth. And I can already see my mask is not really working on this side for whatever reason. So I might need to... Oh, there we go. Perfect. Some of the trees in the far distance, I'm going to try that same color of mask. But sometimes that won't work. Just on some of these trees. The dark gray. It's not bad. Furry, hey yo, good to see you. And I do have my stylus here, so it's fantastic. Yes, good to see fellow Canadians in chat. Weather's not been too bad, to be honest, for a Canadian winter so far. We just had our first snow this week on Monday, maybe. So I certainly can't complain. Yeah, I like the depth there, but then you can see the brown is kind of advancing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to paint away some of that. Yeah, so I'm not crazy about... Maybe I'm not crazy about the blue for dithering on top of the brown. I think it's creating too high of a contrast with the brown. We're going to try the gray. I tend to use, if I look at my example here, I tend to use the dark gray. You can see there's a bit of dark gray dithering in this example here to create depth. This one won't be as dark as this piece actually. This had darker depth in it. But we're gonna use the dark gray for that part. So we're gonna recolor this to dark gray. Okay. Grab the dark gray. Yeah, I'm gonna like that more. Dark depth sounds scary. What's good is that I have, although I don't like what's happening with this dither here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so I've kind of messed up on some of this. I've selected the wrong color, it looks like. It's not a huge deal because I'm only using this particular color of dither in the background, but I got sloppy and I obviously made a wrong selection somewhere along the line. Yeah, but that's actually the gray on the brown is a kind of a nice. It's a nice, not too high of a contrast. It's a lighter color than that dark blue. And if I might actually try it just as the green, but I can do some kind of hand dithering here, where it gets less dense at the front, to give that feeling of gradual tone. Best time of day for fishing is around dawn, Mousemas says. I did not know that. Because I don't really know. Because in this scene, he's doing the fishing, and then the next scene, it's like nighttime. So is it also good to fish around dusk? Oh, it's Farewell Nova Scotia. It's funny that I'm glad these never get copyright claimed. Last music stream, Dan played a little bit of some. I don't even remember what the song was that he played, and after I uploaded it, of course we got a copyright claim on it. And I sent Dan the screenshot. So it was copyright claimed, even though it's kind of amazing. On a Roland MT32, the algorithm is so good it can pick out tunes just like that. What was I going to... Oh, yeah, I was going to... Did I mess that up again? No, that's fine. But how come this... Oh, you know what? This selection's still there. Okay, that's why. When I turn out when I hide the selection with Control H, sometimes I forget that it's there. So I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take this green, and I think I'm going to dither into the brown with the green to give even more depth. So let's get into that. He looks like an all-day fishing guy kind of me. Justin Jeffy, great to see you. Fishies like breakfast. Okay, so people will go fishing anytime. It's not unusual to go fishing at dusk. Thank you guys for weighing in, because I have no idea. Ooh, that doesn't look good. What? No, that's right. What am I doing wrong? Oh, you know what? Never mind. It's gonna be fine. But this is the fun part. Well, I wouldn't say the rest of it wasn't, but I like picking out different colors of dithering to give stuff depth. So we're going to work in to here. Oh, whoops. I didn't make a selection. Okay, there. Oops. Great. There we go. So break up some of these shapes a bit. Oops. Good evening, Cosmo43. Wonderful to see you. Oh wow, Highbury Hazard. Your father-in-law is a lifelong fisherman. He can catch a lingcod any hour of the day. Yeah, I might have gone fishing maybe once in my whole life, maybe as a child. So anybody's consultation on fishing and related things, I'm more than happy to hear. Oh, that's a weird thing that happened here. Yeah. Probably the most fishing I've done is in Stardew Valley. And I caught all the legendary fish in that game, so that's gotta mean something. You can fish at old shoes and old bikes all day long, Ronald Dragster. Do you fish Highbury Hazard? There we go. And I gotta remember that as we go to the left of the screen, I do feel like it's going further into the distance, so I do want to show that as well. That's not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. In-game characters can also be experimenting with fishing hours. I guess if I'm taking my Stardew Valley knowledge and applying it to real fishing, I would say I guess there are different kinds of fish that come out at certain times of day. So maybe that'll work too. Okay, so we're getting somewhere here. I think we're going to also add more shadow to these trees. And let me just check the lighting here. The lighting is coming from the upper left in this picture, so I'm going to put the shadow on the right side of these trees. Just keep catching Magikarp. Oh, nice. You fished a few times with your father-in-law. I bet it's a nice, yeah, it's probably a nice thing to just, as an outing, really. Ah, interesting, Deluxe Tech. You haven't been fishing in years? Kind of like the idea of sitting outside patiently more than you like fiddling around with worms and rods, so you became more of a bird watcher. Yeah, I really do enjoy just being outside and doing kind of a bird watching thing as well. And just having the benefit of a set of decent binoculars really helps, because there's a lot of birds that are quite shy, and it really, lets you really see the detail on their feathers and stuff if you have a set of binoculars. And it's part of the reason why Kimmy in The Crimson Diamond is a bird watcher. She kind of is inspired by my mom and my dad, who were bird watchers, who like to do bird watching. I actually like the rim. It's kind of not, it's rimlit but kind of not, but having just that edge be light gray. I'm enjoying that, actually. Jim Makes Games, great to see you. Jim Makes Games, never been fishing, don't eat fish, but sitting by a lake sounds nice. There's something for everyone. I love fish. I love eating them. Raw and cooked. Fishing has a more delicious outcome than birdwatching. Indeed, Highbury Hazard. So that's the only fishes as a kind of lottery. Who knows, you might get a crimson diamond. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Oh, awesome. See, that's what I would like. That person 122, your sister's boyfriend loves to fish. He usually does it with his childhood friend. They've been doing it for years and years. It can be quite relaxing from what you've heard. That's the kind of thing. Just it's kind of really nice quality time doing an activity with somebody, which is kind of what I'd be most interested in for it. There's plenty of time to just hang out and chat while kind of doing an activity together. I think that's really lovely. Canadians in chat seen loons in the wild. I feel like I have. I think I have seen loons. Maybe a loon. Or yeah, I think I have. But not this summer. Not this year. Oops. But they are beautiful. Really beautiful birds. I think there might be different kinds of loons, but the kind of loon like that's on our loonie is, I think it's called a northern loon or something. It's those beautiful ones with the black and white plumage and with the red eye, and they've got that really characteristic call, which is the sound of so-called cottage country. And I don't know, it's kind of always been a weird term for me to hear that, cottage country, but northern Ontario, I guess, more like. Yes, Hinterland's Who's Who, just as Jeffy knows. Exactly. I used to be able to make kind of a loon call sound by cupping my hands together. I don't think I can do it anymore. And I also have lipstick on, so I just don't want to make a mess of my hands. So I'm not going to attempt it. Loons weren't too rare back in BC, Highbury Hazard said. I'm not seeing anything being censored, which is funny that people are saying that the word loon is being censored. I'm seeing everything. I'm not even seeing any indication that anything is doing that. So I don't know. Maybe you have a chat setting on your account or something. Because I think I've set mine to, I don't know. Everything is okay, if that's a thing. Maybe it defaults to, being super not okay with words. Amberzine, see, not censored for you either. Jim makes games as well. Yes, let's do it. You might be on baby mode. Exactly. Yeah, there's all kind of birds with mature sounding names. But loon I would think would be, I don't know, pretty okay, but what do I know? Okay, so Foggy Screen says there's definitely a setting for auto censoring off. Yeah. And where I think the middle distance trees I'm also gonna give some of that black, but not as much as the stuff in the foreground. Yeah, there's so much about Twitch I don't know about, and to be honest with you, they certainly don't make it easy. Let's try some middle distance trees with not as much shadow. Doesn't really look like growth lines here. Oops. But I will be coming up with a list. I mean, I'm being pretty optimistic about this, but I'm going to be coming up with a list of games in my GOG library and I guess Steam library that I have that I've never played, and maybe we could figure out what we'll play after Personal Nightmare, because I'm looking forward to being finished that game, even though I've only played it once on stream. It's hard. It's stressful a little bit. It's that kind of game. Oh, you're starting to see bald eagles, Deluxe Tux. You saw an oriole recently, which is a rare sighting. We get orioles in Ontario kind of in the summertime. They kind of in like late summer, early fall. And we put out oranges cut in half for them, and they seem to like that. They're beautiful. They're really stunning birds. We're testing out, Fogage Green, you're testing out the censoring. Doofus seems to be okay. Blockhead seems to be okay. Yeah, I didn't purposely set anything to be any particular way. So it's either some kind of like Twitch default or some other default that I just don't know about. Oh, interesting. You didn't have cardinals in BC, Highbury Hazard. Interesting, because we have them here. There's a male and female cardinal that come just about every day to the house, and I call them Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal. And there's also some house finches, which are quite lovely, that visit daily. And the finches, it's like a finch family where there's a male and a female and a couple juveniles. And they've actually used the nesting boxes as well. It's really nice to see them every day. Deluxe Tux, you're practically tripping over cardinals? That sounds kind of scary. But I do love how bright red they are. What I might do with the ones in the background is I might dither the black part out with the color, because I feel like they are kind of standing out too much. But that will be the next step. Yes, there are wild turkeys in Ontario, and there are turkey vultures also haphazard in Ontario. But wild turkeys are amazing to see because they're pretty big and they're really pretty actually. Their plumage is kind of iridescent. Yeah, they're pretty common. Pretty common around these parts. We get blue jays, house finches, goldfinches, occasionally orioles. We have rose-breasted grosbeaks, juncos, especially in like the wintertime. We get quite a few of them actually, maybe about 10 on the daily. Cowbirds, different kinds of sparrows, tree sparrow, chipping sparrow, song sparrow, chickadees, mourning doves. Oh wow, Deluxe Talks, that's pretty scary. You had a turkey fly clumsily into your windshield this summer. Yes, and happy belated Thanksgiving. Of course, Canada geese being our provincial bird. What else is pretty common? Of course, pigeons in the city, but you don't see them in the suburbs or anything like that. But pigeons, of course. Grackles, starlings. We get quite a lot of starlings. Robins. Yeah, mourning doves are kind of pretty. They can have all kinds of interesting colors in them. We have some with some bright pink feet. Oops. I think these ones I'm going to do with the dither. This blue. Yeah. And if you go to kind of wetland areas, you can see green teals, baffleheads, like just your regular old mallards, male and female, swans. So let's do a quick question about the black boxes on the top of the bottom. If they look different sizes, do they matter? The black boxes were, I was going to letterbox this part of the intro so that it would be differentiated from the gameplay dimensions, and they are different sizes. I kind of just slapped them on there, and there's no real reason for them to be that way except the fact that I just sort of did them that way. From an artistic perspective, actually, when you frame photos and you mat photos, like you have a border around all the way around, they say not to do it completely even all the way around. We were taught in art school to make the upper one thinner than the bottom one because there's like visual gravity involved. So if you have the bottom one the same width as the top one, it feels like it's not even though it actually is physically even. Visually, it's not as even. So I think naturally I just I leaned toward making them kind of irregular proportions. Ah. Highbury Hazard said, turns out the turkey vultures are not all related to vultures from Europe, Asia, and Africa. I've seen them in the sky, and my mom will point and say, there's a turkey vulture, but I don't know if I've actually seen them up close. My estimate is, I don't know, like maybe Maybe they do that, but I'd check maybe art galleries and things. But I don't know. I could swear that they were even. But we were just told not to in art school. That's all I know. We were instructed when we were put up and present artwork to. We needed very specific borders around everything in certain classes, and they would always be not even at the top and bottom because of that visual gravity idea. Oh, Foggy Screen, you want the thicker side on top, do you? Then play 7 notes of an octave. 7 notes of an octave. So this is kind of working better for me, I think. And now let's work on foreground rock. Oh, to gently troll people. I see. Unsettling, right. Yeah, I'm even trying to look at some bezels and things that I see around here, but I don't know. It could just be a thing like a couple of my art teachers inculcated into us for their own amusement. Let's take a look at some more of the depth in the jetty shot. So this one had some trees that were actually just black. So for this one, I think if I wanted to add even more depth to this, I would add the dark blue, the dark cobalt as texture in the background. So let's give that a try. And then we're probably going to make the river look a little nicer because it's seen better days. Up. Yeah. So this is when we just start putting some more textures in here. And not making them too straight. I wonder if that's... What if I made this completely... I might make these completely gray. But I'll do them cobalt for now. I just feel like they might be drawing a little bit too much attention. But I'm going to try them gray. Just to see. Fog is green. I feel unsettled. What menace has done this? Oh, that person over there in the white jeans and black t-shirt. Yeah, that's another thing that does unsettle me is light colored pants. Because I just feel like, yeah, I don't tend to go for light colored pants because I just feel like they're impractical. Like they get dirty really easily. But that just means a lifetime of, not wearing light-colored pants, and I don't know. I mean, I've been okay with it so far, but should I be living in fear my whole life? For practicality's sake? And even things like white jackets. I would never buy like a white down jacket, like a down-filled jacket like that, because then it gets dirty and it's hard to clean. Or if it gets stained. I've got all these weird ideas swirling in my head based on, wearing stuff for 10, 20, 30 years. Which is what I will tend to do. Let's try these trees, these really weird texture trees in gray. Because I feel like they're not working in this color. They're too high contrast. You can understand white work clothes, they get dirty, you bleach them. Yeah, white clothes for manual labor. I can see that. Yeah, just a Jeffy. Wait, are pants meant to be worn more than once? Yeah, yeah, I like the gray better there. Yeah, yeah, that gives a bit more texture. I also think that some of the brown as it gets to the distance is not receding as much as I'd like. So I do think I might do something about that. But what color? You see, yeah, that's definitely starting to float. I'm gonna probably go back and use the dark blue on the ground, but a different version of it. Yes, a different version of it. So I'm going to take this dark cyan, the dark blue here. I'm going to move it over 1 pixel. So that it will dither like that. And then I'm going to try to knock this brown back. Oh, it's too close to the same. No, that's not going to work. What color will work? That's not working. Maybe the cyan. Maybe the cyan. No, that won't do it. Cyan and dark gray. Maybe cyan and dark gray. It's really... No, that's not working either. Actually, that's not that bad. I don't mind that. Kind of a suggestion of foliage. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I kind of like it. It's kind of giving me an extra layer that I'm appreciating. So. And then again, we're going to work in with just a 1 pixel brush and just soften that up a bit. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. And then, yeah, we're going to work on that river. Whatever's sticking out the most at any given time is what I'll work on. Davor, hello, good to see you. Wonderful. Actually, one thing that is sticking out to me right now is this rock. Because it's just hitting his head and it doesn't have to, so I'm going to move that over. And I'm going to add more rocks, I think. Yes, a rock we need to talk. We haven't done a rock talk in a while. But it takes a bit of prep, and so the actually streaming the Personal Nightmare stuff takes less time, so that's what we're going to be doing, I think, going forward for a little bit. Unless I get really excited about a rock, which can happen at any time. Oh my goodness, that's great, Foggage Green. You've after breaking an ankle, you were rocking a skirt. Skirts are nice and very underrated as a piece of clothing. Yes, awesome, Deovor. Yeah, how'd the jam game go? And Cressup is amazing. I met her at Adventure X. Doing a jam games is something I'd want to do. Something else I want to do. How'd Cressup like your game? I think maybe I want. I think I want dithering on these rocks, but I do want to add more rocks. Dice rolling in an adventure game. Nice. Now, speaking of like D&D stuff, that sounds really cool. Is there a link to it at all that we can get, Deovor? I want to do jams. Oh, she said she really liked it? Aw. And she knows what she's talking about because she was doing that Adventure Gamers podcast. So she's played her share. Cressup has. Hit you up if I want to jam. It's gonna be a while until until I actually let myself do any kind of a jam thing. Because this thing's not getting any more. Well, I don't want to say this thing's not getting any more done because it is, but it needs to get done faster than it is. Just random rocks. I'll just add it to that list I have, the ever-growing list of things I want to do when this is done. And as happy as I am that I'm going to be, delivering the beta soon, it's just, I can't believe I still have 3 more chapters to go. Maximus, you've done 2 Ludum Dares. Oh, thank you, Perilous Wild, sweet. Okay, I'm gonna open that in a separate place. Fantastic. Thank you, thank you. It's amazing to me because that seems like a completely new idea for a game, and to come up with not even just a game to make, but a completely new idea on how a game can play in such a short time. I don't even know how you did that. That's amazing. Oh yeah, I forgot the light's coming in from that upper left, so let's kind of make sure we remember that. Way too stressful. Weekend jams feel like a weekend at a space. Yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those people who takes forever to do things, so I don't know if it's something that I can do, but I'm certainly not above trying at some point. I'm one of those people who's addicted to polishing stuff, so maybe it won't work for me. Oh yeah, I mentioned I might want to dither just dither the black in the trees, possibly. Let's see what that looks like. Not bad. I should have made a copy just in case I don't like this, but I actually do. Yeah, I do. Oh, Oh, of course, Deluxe Tux. Yeah, you've seen jam games come out and then get some post-jam polishing. Polishing a game jams do not good company makes Last Studio. Yeah, I mean stuff like Darkside Detective I think started as a game jam game and then they kind of expanded it from there. So it does happen. And yes, this lake, this river. So we're going to do a very quick thing here. Just get rid of all these lines. Oh wow, if there's already been 6 updates to your jam game. That's awesome. And there's even Don and Brandon's pieces, so there's music as well. Is it Brandon Bloom? And making, so you had music. That's kind of amazing to me. Wow, Brandon Bloom and DJ Mega Hammer did music and that's amazing for a game jam game. Fantastic. Really cool. Yeah, they're definitely pros. Let's take a look at the jetty again, just to get an idea of what I did with the water. Okay, so we're not far off. The water got more blue as it got to the forefront. I wonder if I'll do that here. Kind of that same idea of depth. Oops. Hey, Sklo One, the colors and scenery of this remind you of Leisure Suit Larry 2 for some reason. Leisure Suit Larry 2 was that the one where he's on the island, or that is Leisure Suit Larry 3 the one where he's on the islands? It's definitely the same palette, but they do use, like, the style is amazing because the style is different. Different EGA artists approach stuff differently, which is kind of wonderful. At different same resolution, same colors, but like how they solve certain problems visually. It's really cool. I don't know if I'm going to do this like this. How do I want to render this river? Loses Suit Larry to the quest for the the cruise. Okay, takes a cruise and jumps from a plane. Okay. Winds up on the island. Okay. Oh, interesting. So Dave Voice even says you can tell who made what background in Brandon's King's Quest 2 SCI game. Yeah, you can just tell. I mean, even it's the same resolution, same colors. Everyone kind of does things differently. Leisure Suit Larry 2 looking for love in all the dead-end situations. Yeah, I've never even attempted to play those games without any walkthrough. I don't even think I've played any Larry games all the way through. Maybe the first one. don't know if I'm crazy about how I'm rendering this river. Maybe I just need to keep it... Yeah, I'm not crazy about this. No. I'm gonna have to keep it thinner lines, I think. Just start from scratch. Although, I did like some of how that was going through the cattails, so... It's, yes. I would have them just because they're EGA, but I don't know if I'd actually play them. So they forced replay. Yes, oh yes, I do remember watching... I have watched Let's Plays of all the Larry games, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, this idea that the mayonnaise is spoiled, that kind of... It's ringing a bell. Not a good bell. Oh, spinach dip. That's what it was. Oh, you like the cattail shadows? I'm glad anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna... You kind of give that illusion of depth here by kind of extending some of those lines. Oh. Oh, that's another thing I don't like Deluxe Tux, when you have to look in something repeatedly to get the proper response. Yeah, those types of things, it's kind of a pet peeve. And at the very least, if you have to do something repeatedly, it should give you a different response each time to indicate that, you know, it is different. So yeah, all those things. That's why it is educational to watch Let's Plays, because you think, oh, that's not a good idea. Let's avoid that. And yes, School 1, it might be... Yeah, there might have been... Maybe there was something in the instruction manual about some aspects of that, which is true. There is one thing in the Crimson Diamond that you can do repeatedly, but it's not something you have to do. In fact, you kind of probably shouldn't do it, and it does give a different text message every time, so you know something is changing. But yeah, that's kind of... I don't like that either. I don't think anyone likes it. This kind of thing where it's very... When it's just one pixel wide type of stuff, it's not... I don't think it's particularly dynamic to watch, but there we are. Here we are now. The joy of pixel art. And it looks like, yeah, I mean, we haven't had any crashing difficulties, so that's good. Oh wow! Last week you decided to tackle all the Police Quest Deluxe talks. Those are games I've never ever played one. Happy little cattails. Oh, I'm glad you like the way the trees in the back look now. Yeah, a little bit of subtle dithering can make the difference. Like that, those trees have dark blue and black dithering now. But right now, I'm just getting through some of this water stuff. Mm-hmm. Deluxe Tech says the piece went from feeling 20% to 80% done as soon as those dithers went down. They do make a big difference, and that's kind of why I say it's the fun part. And also on Twitter, someone mentioned that dithers are nice because yeah, they do add really nice texture to stuff, so it doesn't just feel like plastic. And I do tend to agree with that. There's something really nice about them, and I don't see it. I mean, most of the pixel art I see in pixel art Twitter is not dithered, and I love it too. But they just, I don't know. There's something about dither. It's that whole thing we talked about before about tonal dots, kind of giving something a bit of extra special feeling. And it's not really something that's necessary anymore. I mean, dithering happened because of technological limitations, so we definitely don't have to dither anymore. We can just choose to dither. The rock at the base of the small pine tree is great. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the shading on that rock there. Yes, yeah. Maximus, yeah, EGA palette really forces you to make colorful pieces. You just have to use different colors. Yeah, so there's so much to do with EGA to do with contrast. That's something that you have to really be mindful of, because the colors are really bright, and things can get brighter or less bright depending on the contrast, the proximity of the colors to each other tonally. Can make something look really, really intense, or can make it really subtle. So right now I'm going to, I think this piece had a bit, yeah, where there's some thickness involved, where you can see it's not all just line. There's some parts where it would have been shaded. Yeah, a lot of pixel art on Twitter uses a huge palette, it's true. Yes, I'm glad you have that same experience that person 122. You did some dithering for your AGS project last year. You intend to continue it after classes slow down. It adds a lot of detail and even depth to pieces. Yeah, I agree. I think it is magical. Ronald Draxler, you'd like to squeeze your eyes a little to digest and enjoy the dithering. That is actually a really good point, because people talk about playing old DOS games, old pixel art games on CRT screens, because they would get kind of more blurry looking, and the dithering would actually meld together visually to the eye a lot easier. So that is a definite. If you're, some people are really into playing games back like exactly how they remember them, and the CRT screen can really be helpful for that. I'm not there yet, but I do like seeing CRT scan lines. Like Matthias has that easy to use filter that I actually still have on my screen here. I think this is it. Yeah, there's a CRT view where you could just, I wonder if I can just kind of do this. Just paste. I forget how to use this. Up, down. Do I just click and drag stuff into there? I feel like that's how that works. Let's see. Streaming stuff. I think I did it with this Halloween piece before. Yeah. So there is the scanline filter. If you can indeed see that. Yes, Jesse Jeffy, good point. CRT helps to show what the original artist would have been looking at when they were creating it. Oh, it's Glow One. You're playing XCOM via the Open XCOM launcher and has CRT emulation, including curvature. Hurts your eyes, but it takes you back. The price of nostalgia. Oh, cool. So yeah, Maximus made Shader Glass, a free tool that runs shaders on top of everything, including games. Includes Mattias's shader too. Oh yeah, I love stuff like that. I love having that option. Mm-hmm. I don't actually know what I'm trying to accomplish here. I just don't want everything just to be lines. Fisherman is here. I don't know how I'm feeling about this water. I might leave it for now, just as the line work. I gotta figure something out. I'm not sure how to approach that yet, so we're gonna move on to a different part. Oh, cool. You used a screenshot for the Crimson Diamond? I gotta see this. That's great. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Maximus, that looks amazing. I really like how... That looks amazing. I've actually never applied it to my actual own game. Fantastic. Maybe I can have that as an option. Who knows? Let's move on to, yeah, the foreground water, this little weird part of the bank. And I do feel like there has to be some grass bits in there. It'd be cool to have that as an option to people to play it like CRT version. Hey O'Rourke, good to see you. How you doing? We're just doing the usual pixel stuff. Good old pixel painting. But this came together a lot faster than the nighttime one for a lot of reasons. So I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. Although, yeah, I'm still wrestling with this water bit. Yeah, just a Jeffy, you fully intend to play on a CRT? Wonderful. Ah, you're playing an old RPG. Which old RPG might you be playing? How goes Pixels? Pixels goes well. Like, this time I have my Wacom stylus with me, which is really helpful. I'm wondering about the scale of the cattails in the front. I feel like they're not quite working yet. I need to make some elements of them bigger. These stalks, I think, should be thicker for what we were dealing with here. Anachronox. Yes, Anachronox. How is it? I've never played it. I've heard of it. I think it's... I mean to play... One of the RPGs I mean to play, I never played it back in the day, is that one everyone talks about. It starts with the P? It's the one where you wake up and you're a dead person or something. What's... Planescape Torment. I want to play that. I have it and I started it and I just stopped after a while. Oh, it was released at a weird time with no marketing, so it failed. Anachronox, but obviously a lot of love went into the game. Yeah, that is a pity. I will eventually get around to... I don't know, actually that's not true. I don't know if I will eventually get around to Planescape Torment, but I know it's excellent. Oh, Planescape's in your top 5, Sklo. 1. Even with you have owned Planescape for many years, haven't played it. There was like a Black Friday Cyber Monday GOG sale, and I bought Broken Sword 1, which I'd never played, and Zach McCracken. You haven't played it, Ambersy, but you played it more than once. Rox's Broken Sword was neat. I've never played any type of Broken Sword game, so I thought it would be a good way to educate myself on adventure games that aren't just LucasArts and Sierra. And it was like 75% off or something, so those were my Black Friday / Cyber Monday purchases. The only things I bought during that time were it added up to about a total of $5 for both games. So that's what I was up to. Oh, you've played it earlier this year, Roke. Quite enjoyable. Oh, good. Okay, so BMD Nerd, I said Broken Sword 1 and 2 are fire. And thanks for the follow, by the way. Either way, says I can't stand George in the Broken Sword games. Broken Sword 6 is strongly rumored. Interesting. Oh, wow. Roke bought Anachronox because you read an article about it. It happens to be 97 cents on Steam right now. Whew. Yeah. Broken Sword was like $1 something, and Zach McCracken was maybe $3 or something. So I will play those eventually. I'm just adding them to the pile. Everyone's got a pile. Ah. Kakala Cola says my only experience with Broken Sword was the GBA port. There was a GBA port. Whoa, it was a fun game, but I think I ended up soft locking. So you, wow, so you use like directional buttons to play it? I guess it's a point and click. I didn't know that it had been ported to that. That's kind of amazing. Huh. Oh, well, okay, BMD nerd, good to know. Broken Sword 1, 2, and 5 are hand-drawn. They tried 3D for 3 and 4. It did not go well. Yeah, I'm glad to know that I wouldn't have got it had it been 3D. I think the 2D art is really nice in it, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I can't say I'm particularly fond of 3D games even to this day. You know, and it's they've been around a while now, so I don't know if I'm ever going to change my mind on that. 3 and 4 both have redeeming qualities. Broken Deluxe Tux says. Yeah, people talk about, VR games and stuff, and still trying to get used to 3D games. It takes me a while to get used to things. So give me a few decades more, maybe I'll get into 3D games. Sklo1's trying to make a great Gabriel Knight 3 run reliably on Windows 10. Early 3D has so many issues. Yeah, beyond the technical, beyond the artistic issues I have with 3D, technically, yeah, that can be tricky. Kakala says my memory's fuzzy, but the interface is adapted to GBA inputs. The downsample art looks good. Which I guess what you can do with when it's 2D art, 3D. I don't even know if you can do that. Crimson Diamond 3D Ronald Dragster, never. Although it'd be fun to, I do have a Nancy Maple 3D file, so maybe one day I would just do like a one image in voxels or something, but I don't expect that to be a usual thing. Massimo says VR takes getting used to. The younger you start, the better. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna live long enough to be interested in VR. I'll get back to you, but I'm cautiously optimistic that one day I'll be into 3D games. Oh, BMD nerd wants to know: is this art for a game or for fun? This art is for the introductory sequence for the Crimson Diamond. Right now, if you start new game on the demo, it plays an introductory sequence with really placeholder MS Paint looking art. So I'm right now during the day I work on actually making the game parts that need to be made, and on stream I've been kind of trying to upgrade the introductory sequence art, and this is actually for the opening scene of the entire intro. So we've been on art streams. I've been slowly and agonizingly upgrading this art, although none of it's made it into the actual demo yet. So hopefully in the new version of the demo, which will be happening probably in the new year, I will have some of this new art incorporated into the new demo version. Oh wow, Maximus, you played Gabriel Knight 3 on Windows 10 yourself. Michael Darkwolf, good to see you. Oh nice, you brought home a cattail from the park? I read on some weird survivalist thing that cattails are edible, which I don't understand. Nah, that's not weird, Michael Darkwolf. They're kind of fascinating. I do want to know how to eat them. Because aren't they fluffy inside? Yes, BMD nerd. That this game is very heavily inspired by Lower Bow One, The Colonel's Bequest. Absolutely, yeah. It's my favorite EGA, Sierra SCI EGA game. And when I was building the lodge rooms, I was looking a lot at the the plantation house's graphics, just to learn how how Douglas Herring did lighting, and solved visual problems in that. And of course, it's also a text parser mystery adventure game. That is, I mean, you can finish it, although maybe you won't get the best ending, but it's not as impossible to finish as other games, but it might just be impossible to play well. Well, not impossible, it's more tricky to play well. So I thought it was a pretty modern game design for even the time. And it's the same basic kind of Agatha Christie type of idea where, in Colonel's Bequest, you're basically in one setting, the house, the manor, and the outside area. And the Crimson Diamond is much the same way, where it's basically the inside and outside of the lodge and some of the surrounding areas. So yeah, even in that way, it's kind of similar. Okay, yes, they got seeds like dandelions. They turn into like a weird floaty, fluffy thing. So I don't know how that's edible. Am I thinking of something else that kind of looks like a cattail but is edible? Oh, that's so cute, just a Jeffy. When you were a kid, your dad helped you make a fake squirrel for a school project, and you plucked cattails to use the fluff as squirrel fur. Hmm. Oh well, your friend had cattails in his backyard. Sounds nice. Yeah, they kind of look like hot dogs, but they're not hot dogs. I thought it was cattails I read that were edible, but that doesn't seem right, does it? Or a corn dog, yes. I understand hot dogs and corn dogs are edible, and they don't grow in wetlands. But beyond that, I don't know. You didn't wait. Says for a future game playthrough, how about Colonel's Bequest, which could become an art stream? I could. Just kind of bungle my way through it. Yes, Roke, would that corn dogs grew naturally by the river. That sounds that sounds delicious. I had a Korean style corn dog. This is a thing now. In Toronto, there's kind of there's a couple like Korean trendy food areas, and I had a Korean style corn dog, which is it was really cool. It had like cheese and meat in it, and it was coated in like potatoes, and I wish I could describe it better, but it was very tasty and super filling. Oh my gosh, Michael Darkwolf, you ate an entire box of corn dogs. Now you're off corn dogs. But yes, Korean corn dogs. I forget what they're called. There's a name for them, and they're amazing. See, Mouse Miss, you've had one, and Koreans do like their cheese in there. Yeah, and you can get different coatings. I had one that was coated in like tater tots or something. It's very strange. You know what? Hold on, hold on. I think I've got a picture on my phone. So let's switch to Big Julia View. Okay, let me see if I can find the picture on my phone of the Korean corn dog. I forget what they're called. Cause it's amazing. And you'll see, and I've never looked happier. Hold on. Let's see here. If I can find it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to just stick my phone up to the screen. But, oh my gosh, where is it? Because I feel like it's important enough to just stop the stream cold and to show this to you guys, because it was that good. And if anyone asks you if you want to go out for like a Korean corn dog thing, say yes. Boy. Wait, oh, maybe it's in selfies. Oh my gosh, it's not. It was a selfie. It was a selfie with a corn dog. Where'd it go? No, I'm so sorry, you guys. We're gonna find this corn dog picture. Don't tempt your cheese and potatoes are your weaknesses. You'll like this, Michael Darkwolf. You'll like the Korean corn dog. I promise. Just let me find it. But apparently it's a current food trend. And Maximus, if you remember at all what they're called, are they called Japa dogs or something? Just tell me where you got it and I will go there, Just Jeffy. I don't remember the name of the place. It was, I don't know, like you can probably get them in like the Korean area of downtown. Downtown Toronto, I mean. Kensington Market would have them, I think. Ararang. Chungchun. It might have been Chungchun. I'm gonna find it. I have no sense of time. Where could it possibly have been? It feels like it was. Might have been Chunchung. Okay, here we go. Okay, found it. There it is. Look at that. That's the one that's covered in tater tots. Okay, let me show you another one. Yeah, so also you can they put sauces on it. Like that. Dad, you'll find it in Jersey, Michael Darkwolf. Okay, yeah, here. I don't know how they coated it in tater tots. There it is. There's my EGA mask that I've got as well. Oh yeah, and here, okay, yeah, there it is. There it is. It was glorious. Oh yeah, and here's the cheese in it. You can get them with cheese or without, but you know, so they put the cheese in it and it's all melty and chewy and delicious and stringy. Yeah, and here you can see like they actually do have like kind of like a hot dog in there. So you got the hot dog, the corn dog coating, weird like a tater tot coating. They also have like dried ramen coating as well, and then cheese. I'm so sorry. I took a lot of pictures. Okay, yeah, that's that. Yes, I know, Kakala-Cola. Dried ramen coating, it's so good. Cheese, we meet again, my nemesis. And glorious is a fun one, but yes. I don't know, Chun Chung sounds familiar. That might be Korean corn dog. Yes. Okay. Back to work. I felt very strongly that you guys should see that, so I'm glad we could share that together. Hold on one second. Okay, back to Photoshop. So hopefully you're seeing Photoshop again. And we're just now cleaning up the front cattails because the shapes weren't really working for me, and I did want more contrast on the ones closest to us. But I will say, of the ones that are in that mid ground, looking at what the lighting situation is again, I think I want to give the left edge of these cattails in the mid ground. I want to give them a bit of like get rid of some of the dithering on the edge of these so that they're kind of being lit. They get that impression of being lit on the left hand side, which is where the light is coming from. So let's do that. Sklo, those aren't potato tots, that's potato dithering. My Italian senses are tingling, Michael Darkwolf. Yeah, it's amazing what they come up with. Another food trend that was really good was Korean fried chicken, which is fried chicken, but they make it kind of like schnitzel almost, where there's no bones in it, and it's just amazing and juicy, and you don't have to worry about any bones. That's another wonderful Korean food trend you can enjoy if available in your area. Also, Thai milk tea, Thai milk bubble tea is amazing. So if you're fortunate enough to have that, you can also get Thai milk tea float, which is Thai milk tea with Thai milk tea ice cream. They copied it from Taiwan. Taiwanese large fried chicken was the original, Mouse Miss says. Yeah, it's not really, I guess it's kind of flat, and they kind of cut it into strips. Yeah, it's really delicious and juicy. And easy to eat. Too easy to eat, I'll say. Yes, Edenworth, you know about the Thai iced tea? It's fantastic. The color is they're definitely coloring it with something. So I don't have any illusions about that being, natural color. It's colored. But I don't know, there's something about it that makes it taste amazing. So I will drink it on the odd occasion. I don't know what happened over here to this cattail. And I'm just, sometimes, what's happening? Sometimes I will just, what's going on? Why is this not drying there? I must have put something on top. Okay. Sometimes, you can just kind of hand do some of the dithering if your layers are a mess, like mine are. Something else that's really good, speaking of iced tea, is matcha soft serve ice cream. If you can find that in your area, I recommend it, if you like matcha. Crit Rocket Runner, great to see you. Jester Jeffrey says, I think the food is what made me fall in love with Toronto when I moved here. Yeah, there is a heck of a lot of good food in Toronto. Oh, Dan the Band Music is here. Disrupting my work. Good to see you, Crit Rocket Runner. Let me shout you out. And then I will show a cat card. He's here when he's not even working. How do you like that, everybody? Crit Rocket Runner. That's right. Yes, Crit Rocket. I hope I spelled that right, because I'm on my iPad. I'm just kind of typing it out. I'm glad you guys like it so far. Yeah, we're getting there, and I can already see it's fun to take a quick quick glance away from things and then come back to them, because I already can tell there's some parts that need to be adjusted. Like there's a weird blank spot on this tree that needs to be addressed. But Dan did redeem something, so let's get that redemption going. Here we go. It's better. Okay, let's put the fisherman back up. And we're actually, I should have had the fisherman back up when I was doing the water lines, because I'm going to need to have the water lines go around his body. But I got to grab the photo album for the cat card. I'll be right back. We were doing so well. We were on a roll. And then Dan comes along. I'll be right back. Oops. Okay. Oh, you're welcome for the shout out, Crit Rocket Runner. I just hope it goes to the right place. There's a Dithertron for Roy. Yeah, I wish that the Roland MP32 wasn't so skinny, because you can barely see it. Okay, here we go. Let's get ourselves out a cat card. Okay. And I wish I had kept track of which ones I had shown and which ones I hadn't shown. That would have been smart. See here. Did I don't know if I've shown this. This might be appropriate. This is a holiday kind of thing. We've been talking about holiday stuff. I may have already shown this one. I feel like if anyone remembers, you can just tell me that you've seen this one before. Okay. This is from 2008. Oh my gosh, there's so much of this getting clipped out. Wow, it's just exactly the right color green. Why don't you know what I'm gonna do? Can I can't just turn off the chroma key, which is kind of funny. Oh well. Okay, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay. This is a Christmas card that all the green is being keyed out of. But I mentioned before that I've done silkscreen printing. And there was a year where I collaborated with my mom to make Christmas decorations. And what I did was I silkscreened onto fabric wreaths and candy canes and doves and stars, and then she stitched them onto fabric ornaments that she stuffed with cotton batting and put a string on, and we'd hung them on the tree. Yes, Dan the Band Music is actually working a concert right now. The drummer is in the middle of a 20-minute solo, so Dan decided to come hang out with us. Yeah, and so Dido is holding the silkscreen stuff. So she's got the squeegee, and here's the silkscreen screen where the designs are. She's got her paw prints all over them. We've got some silkscreen ink here at the bottom, and then the rest is, spools of thread, the fabric, one of those wonderful little pin cushions, and so these do exist, and I wonder if I'll ever be able to show one of those in real life. But they have some on, my sister also has some on her Christmas tree. And so that was a nice little thing that we did together. And that was 2008, which is forever ago now. Still cute, even keyed. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. So weird. Yeah, anyway. Thank you for the redemption, Dan the Band Music. Is hold the art. Hey, Belkin, good to see you. Yeah, hold the art in front of yourself. Yeah, I can. I'm see-through. Oh, color cool. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, I do them birthdays, Mother's Days, Father's Days, that type of a thing. So, but I think I might be coming to the end of those, unfortunately, to show. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you make cards as well. You make cards for your mom and dad. It's fun. It's fun to make little personal cards. And good evening. You're troubleshooting a Dell Optiplex GXA from Computer Reset. You had one of the first generation Optiplexes at a job you had years ago. I know because I had someone take pictures of me at my desk. Yeah, Bill Kuhn has a Computer Reset haul, and it's kind of amazing. So it's very exciting. I don't know. Is there anywhere you could do you have a blog or something where you could put that stuff up, show pictures and things? Oh wait, Control 8. Oh, that's where we want to be. Okay. Great. Yeah, see, people want to see Bill Kuhn. There. Okay, wait a second. When Foray mentioned Dithertron, I thought he was making a joke. That's a real thing. Dithertron? Oh yeah, we were doing adding a bit of sense of light to the sides of these before I got sidetracked. Okay, so that's good. It's subtle, but it's there. Here we go. Oh, you linked it? Okay, I missed the link for Oh my gosh. Yes, please link it again. I will open it up in a separate tab. Fantastic. Yeah, so I think I do need to, when I was doing these water lines, I do need to have the fisherman in the picture. So I better figure out where he's going to stand for this. I feel like it can't be too close to the bank because the river probably wouldn't drop down so deep so quickly. So we're probably going to have to move him down away from the bank more. That's kind of more like it, I would say. Perfect, thank you. I'm going to open that up real quick in another tab. Dithertron. Awesome, thank you. Really cool. Yes, Bill Kuhn, that'd be awesome if you can put the picture somewhere and give links, because like it is really fascinating stuff and really a piece of history. It'd be nice to have that documented online. Okay, yeah, we're working on the foreground area here. So let's get back to that. In fact, it's kind of weird for this tree to be growing off of this rock there's no soil or grass or anything. So I should probably fix that. Safe to show on stream, don't think they copyright strike for famous paintings. Dithertron. Should we show it on stream? Hold on, let me, maybe we can. Hold on, give me 1 second. Wait. I hope you didn't just see my Gmail opened. Okay. Well, Holton, good morning! Okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out. Oops. I'm going to open Dithertron. Okay. Dithertron. 8bix Workshop Dithertron. Okay, so let me do Control-Shift-5. Okay. So, oh, that doesn't do anything. Control-Shift-8. Okay. Okay, great. So people hopefully are seeing Dithertron. Okay, wow, okay. Whew, okay. So, convert to, oh wow, there's a bunch of different, there's a bunch of different options. ZX Spectrum, oh my gosh. Apple High Res. C64 High Res. Woof, okay. EGA mode. Oh, that's pretty. CGA mode. dark, CGA mode bright. This is fascinating for what? Oh my gosh. Brightness. Wow, look at this. How much dither? And the kind of dithering. Floyd Steinberg. Sierra. What? Sierra Light. False Floyd. This, yes. This is nice. Diamond. Double down. Fantastic. One of the options is Sega Master System. Sega Master System. Sega Master System. Oh my gosh, I really like that one. Well, this is great. Thank you, Roy. Yeah, it's hue-based perceptual distance maximum. This is wonderful. Wow. Okay. There's so many types of things we could do. And then we could browse stuff, but BBC Micro. Woo! I love it. I love it. Thank you. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going. Hopefully, yell at me if you don't see Photoshop now, because I've switched back. But yes, that was very cool and super illuminating to see. I wonder, yeah, I kind of do want the tree to be kind of on this rock, but I think it's going to need some adjusting. I'm going to need to kind of, give an impression that the root... Yeah, Steam derailed successfully. Yes, back to the shop. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of there being a bit of grass on this, but I don't know if this is going to work. I might just make it so that this tree is behind this rock and not actually on the rock. Just to make things easier? I don't know. And here's the thing, are we going to start putting in the... Oh, thanks for the something. Give me 1 second. Emma Sky, thanks for the follow. And Dan the Band Music, thanks for the resub. Now here's the question we need to ask ourselves, are we going to use any of the lightest color of green on this? And we're going to play with it a little bit and see. Okay. Oh well, Dan the Band Music on his 1 month sub streak. I've been trying to. The thing is with Prime is that you have to do it every month, and I'm also not good at getting that done. And I try to sign up to Dan's, but I try to do it in the best, most disruptive time I could possibly find. I don't know if I'm gonna go in with the lighter color of green on this. That might be just too much stuff to do. Yeah, and Blahoutz makes a point. Photoshop exports for web with some of these options, but there's not nearly as many options. Yeah, for yeah, I think I've come across that because I could swear that my Prime sub or whatever has would expires, and then I want to resub, and then I don't have that as an option, and then I forget, and I just wish they made that a little bit easier and just let you just keep sub to the same one. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do this yet. It might be too bright, and it might will take focus away from the guy. We don't want that. Patreon better those smaller cuts. Mouse miss. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, mouse miss. Okay, has to be better. Oh yeah, 50%. Yeah, Twitch takes 50%. So yeah, Patreon is. I'm not sure exactly how much of a cut Patreon takes, but yeah, I think it's less than 50. How about a hint of a fishy in the water? That could be fun, actually. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. It's just taking away too much focus. But yeah, I mean, we could explore fishy in the water as a possibility, because it would be like a dark shapes. But then that would be more. You know what? That would be more animation, which I don't know if I'm prepared to commit to. Yeah, Dan, I don't know what the takeaway is. The cut that Patreon takes. I just realized also that this food cattail has to be thinner. Let's see, 10:03 right now. We will probably go to, sure, let's say 10:15, and then I will move on to some personal nightmare for maybe half an hour or half an hour to 45 minutes of personal nightmare. Oh, I didn't know if you're a partner you can negotiate with Twitch, Dan, for whatever cut they would take. See, I don't know any of this stuff. I should. Oh, good luck with your sleep study, Michael Darkwolf. There's so much to know. Yes, personal nightmare is best. Yeah, it is best experienced in short stints. Um, yeah, we're not gonna. It's a toughie. It's definitely a challenging game, and it made even more intimidating by the fact that Retrograde Tom didn't finish it, and he's really good at games, but he just got locked at some point. A dark shape in the water like a rog or a rog. A rock. I read that as rock submerged log, and I just, yeah, rog rather than fish. We could do. Like, there could be a log, a rog, could potentially be a rog. But what I really should do is with the fisherman, I should kind of give him an indication below he has something going on below his knees. Definitely a rog. Thank you, Dan. There should be a shark or a Loch Ness monster. Yeah, let's he should have something here. Yeah, just as Jeffrey, Retrograde Tom is a serious streamer. Yeah, he streams a lot. He's a good streamer too. And I don't actually get any notifications when he goes live. I think I turned off notifications for when people go live. But yeah, he's a good one. If you did add a fish shadow, they could be swimming in place, maybe 2 or 3 frames. I will never say never. And I can put one in just to see how I feel about it. I'm open to it. Give us a feeling of water and standing in it. Can't afford the Loch Ness. The monster charges tree fitty. You fit in right. You fit in perfectly on natural 20. The one who got away, the fish who got away. I think the left side of the picture stealing focus probably needs some dimming. Yeah, you're right. That's where we start looking into. Yeah, the water. I need to change the way the water is moving around his legs. But yeah, we could definitely the focus. This is where we start going in, and just reducing some of that contrast, right? So we would take some of this right down. Maybe just the top. And just hand to dither some stuff away. Make those a little smaller. In fact, they should be quite a bit, well, maybe taller. Yep. And yes, and the dripping water is from the fish, Michael Darkwolf, exactly. That stuff, yeah, I'm going to address it all. This should be shorter, probably. We can really make those, push those back in terms of size. Let's see. That one can actually be quite a bit shorter. Oh, see, Michael Darkwolf, you're amazed people can do pixel art with a pen. I was amazed to learn a lot of pixel artists use a mouse. Because I do pretty much, I rely pretty heavily on the stylus, but apparently a lot of pixel artists have used the mouse and continue to. So. Kurt Rocket Runner says, do you have any quick tips for getting composition right? Yeah, there's a few things you could do. One great way is to just take something and flip it. Because that will tend to help you see if something is really crazy off balance, which looking for me at this right now, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it balance wise, but it is always good to test that type of a thing. Something else you want to think about is you kind of want to you prioritize where people are looking, and you do that by trying to compose the picture in a way that's going to direct the eye toward where you want them to see things. And so for this, what we have is at least in English speaking countries, we read from left to right, so we tend to move across a plane from left to right and settle on the right hand side more. So it's a good way a good stopping place for people to be. But of course you also have to make sure that the eye is just not flowing all the way through, all the way straight through from left to right, and so there has to be. That's kind of why I have these big. Hold on, let me just create a new layer here. It's kind of why I've got sort of this stuff here to stop the flow of the river visually, so the player doesn't just flow all the way through. Same thing with that tree. It's kind of tilted back toward the left in a way to kind of keep the player's eye from moving all the way through again. You can even see I do that with this stuff here. The bucket is also a nice visual stopping place for the player. And yeah, so on the left hand side we also have like a sense of depth here, where you've got this whole section here. And so there's a resting spot in this area where I want people to look. And of course we can do the same thing where the focus is done with color. He's going to be the only thing that's got a magenta shirt on in the composition, so that helps. And what else can I say? He's going to be the only thing that's moving, which is, well, not the only thing, but he's going to be the main thing that's moving in the composition, so hopefully that'll also help people to focus on him. Yeah, Michael Darkwolf, flipping will give a better perspective because if you're so used to seeing things a certain way, I mean, you can think of something as easy as just being used to the way your face looks in the mirror. Most of us are used to seeing our faces flipped, and so when we see our faces in a photograph where it's not flipped, we can kind of feel like we look different than we used to, because we're used to seeing ourselves a certain way. So something even as subtle as that can really throw us off. Oh, Michael Darkwolf's been using mouse for years. Unnatural 20 used a track point style pointer. That's very unusual. And Kakalakola also uses a mouse for pixel art. See, this is fascinating to me. BMD nerd, you've been using Ace Part with a mouse. You just bought a drawing pad. Wow. Oh, that person 122. I'm glad you like I'm glad you like the tips so far. Yeah, this is all stuff I learned in art college about composition and everything. So it's stuff that, even though I'm not really doing traditional illustration right now, so many of the things that I learned in school I'm using to this day. As well, I've done pixel art talks where I talk about creating depth in a picture, and so we've used a lot of those tricks here where, like this area is. Hopefully that's on a new layer. Yeah, so all this stuff is lower contrast and cooler, so it really recedes. Particularly this stuff is very like it's small, and it settles back in the distance quite a bit. So we've got these trees which have slightly more contrast, and they are bigger, but also they still have coolness in them because I've dithered the dark blue in with the black. And then the closest stuff, which is, this stuff, is large in size and in the highest contrast trees that we've got. So that's another thing. But yeah, composition can be tricky. In this one, we were talking about how the left side, we don't want that left side to steal a focus. And these trees also help with hopefully creating a frame like this, where that's where our eye's going to look, but we can always do better. Ah, Crit Rocket Runner, another mouse person. For small pixel art, you do it more or less one pixel at a time, enough to use a mouse. This is true. Ah, so you've been drawing small on a large piece of paper, Michael Darkwolf, and that's another consideration. When you're drawing art, it can make such a difference in drawing what size you're drawing at. So I do recommend, if you feel like you draw small, to draw large. If you draw large, to draw small. The level of detail you can get, and also the freedom of movement you get when you draw larger, can make a huge difference in the feeling of movement and dynamicness, dynamism in a piece. I think I mentioned before when I was doing left drawing in school, they recommended the biggest pieces of paper possible. So we would get these huge pads of newsprint, 24 by 36 or larger even. And just using our whole shoulders and joints and everything to really feel that movement and get some flow. Instead of, really getting into that tiny nitty-gritty detail stuff, you want to capture general movement. And so I do recommend, if you can, to vary up the size you draw it if you find yourself drawing at a certain size. That person 122 also uses the mouse for pixel art. See, this is fascinating. I love talking about this stuff because it's something, stuff we don't really tend to think about so much. Your style is becoming more painterly, Kurt Rockarena, so you want to become more comfortable with a tablet. And that's another thing, too. I mean, the medium that you're using or the tools that you're using can really have a huge effect on the outcome. And it could be as simple as using a higher quality brush for something like watercolor. Watercolor really depends on having a brush that grabs and holds water and pigment. And the more you have, and the better the brush is, the more it can hold, and the more times, the more painting you can do without having to go back to your paint and to your water. So it can make a huge difference. And the paper you use makes a huge difference too. So something like switching from a mouse to a stylus, or stylus to mouse, it can make a huge difference in how you draw, the mechanism of how you're drawing, and how it ends up looking. Interesting. See, unnatural 20, you have a lot of unsteadiness in your hands. The track point helps you move more easily in straight lines. Yeah, there's so many great tools. I know that at least there are some drawing programs that actually will average out some of like the jitter that you might have in your hand, which is really cool, and I think it's a really great feature. I don't know I wonder if Photoshop has something like that. I think it might have something to do with the tolerance of whatever, however you're drawing, and it will just naturally even and smooth out strokes, which I think is super helpful. Michael Darkwolf, you had no art education, so trial and error was your teacher. Yeah, I think you can definitely, like, there's so much you don't really need to have art education, really, as long as you're mindfully practicing, you're keeping your eyes open, you can draw from life as much as possible. If it's like a still life, or from people like friends or stuff, if they'll sit and pose for you, you can draw. It's really important to be able to draw, taking something from a 3D to a 2D plane when you're drawing, not just copying from photographs, although that is also really helpful. Drawing from something that's three-dimensional and having your brain need to convert that from 3D to 2D is a huge part of improving, I think. Exactly, Dan the Band Music says you don't need music education to do music either. And Black Holton says, I definitely think using a stylus for pixel art helps avoid the very rigid look it's easy to get with a mouse. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that our tools affect the outcome. But of course, if you're mindful of that, you can overcome those things, but it can just be a matter of, using a stylus, can be more freeing. But if you're really getting into those, like those small, low resolution pixel art, it's a lot more like just placing the pixels extremely deliberately. And Michael Darko, if you say you're a natural artist and a visual person, yeah, people have different ways of learning and different strengths. I actually don't know what way I learn better. I think I might learn better just with words or something. But I mean, I'm a pretty visual person. So I feel like we're taking down some of that contrast, which is going to be helpful in making sure that this side does not steal focus. Oops. Especially because it's such a short, this screen will only be like a few seconds long, so we don't want it to be confusing when people look at it. We want it to be pretty clear what's going on. Now I feel like I've whittled them down too much. After I fix these cattails, we're going to move on to Personal Nightmare. Yeah, Cola, like, yeah, definitely. Pixel art, just one pixel makes a huge difference. And I think that's super magical. I really love that part of pixel art. In fact, I do want to show, before we get into Personal Nightmare, I do want to show something, which some of you have seen already before, which is just some of the work I did on Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator, which the portraits were 50 by 50 pixels, which is relatively low. And the organs I did for the cargo hold were 25 by 25 pixels, which is also pretty low. But I loved the challenge of that. Really, really, really fun to do. And Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator is slated to come out this year. There's too much of a jump between these two sizes, and it is bothering me. So we're not going to leave this until I have it like I want it. Ah, interesting. Veritisium did a video on that. It turns out the idea of having a main mode of how you learn better is based on nothing in particular, and in most cases people learn best from a combination of mediums and things like that. Yeah, in fact, I think it can be useful to learn things in a bunch of different ways, because it will stick in the head better. Generally speaking. Yeah, that's a bit better. There's wild hot dog plans. Make sure to watch after stream. Thank you, Blaholton. Yeah, what do I have? Yeah, so these... So these are some of the portraits I did for Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator. And these are some of the organs I made for Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator. And it was really a fun challenge to trying to come up with how to create tone and even the effect of something like metal on this warlord guy. Every pixel counts. Just as Jeffrey says, I'm thinking about how the input device, mouse or other, and tools affected the way artists approach their work. Not sure if we've talked about this before, but which Sierra game first used a lot of dithering? To me, it looks like it was maybe Police Quest 2. King's Quest series looked mostly undithered up until King's Quest 4. Not mistaken, Space Quest series remained undithered mostly up to Space Quest 3. Yeah, I think that's fair enough to say. Yeah, the different engines, the two different engines that Sierra Games used, for the first one being AGI, with the double wide pixels, where the dithering is not quite as easy to do because the pixels are double wide. That probably has to do with the fact that they weren't using dithering. Yes, 1-bit dithers, Mausimus, 1-bit artstring would be amazing. The top left organ, I love 1-bit too. The top left organ is not a traditional human organ, we'll say. It's it looks kind of like a lamprey eel mouth, kind of, just with like fewer teeth. I don't think I have the 3D model for that one here. But this was from... Oh no, I don't have the credit for the person who did this. Okay, yes it is. Okay, so this is Lux. So you can see it. Oops. Here's the name, @ThisIsLux on Twitter. Had a great set of pixeling and dithering tutorials for artists. So this is a great set of 1-bit dithers, speaking of 1-bit dithers. So I saved these because I thought they were amazing. Yes, Lux does great tutorials. This is Lux. Lux. Yeah, it's a space spleen. Yeah. This is a stomach, lungs, eyeball, and yeah, some exotic alien organ. Yeah, I love 1-bit. I want to do more 1-bit art stuff. Even though I'd never really had a Mac at home. We had Macs in school, but I do love the look so much. Yes, yeah, Undertale as well had a very nice simplified look to it. But yeah, this is amazing, the amount of like stuff you can do. Gentle shading at this resolution with those size pixels. And of course, you go too big and they completely break up. So you have to keep in mind at what size they'll be displaying, even beyond, something being 25 by 25 pixels. Well, how big are those pixels going to be on screen? Because that will affect legibility. But let us go back to Big Julia View, because we're going to head on to Personal Nightmare. We're going to turn our Personal Nightmare background on. This is the bookcase in the... I forget where, but hopefully we'll see it. And yeah, lemmings do look amazing. I forget how many pixels lemmings are.